I am equally against the temples and the gurdwaras who are using electricity to wake up people from the sleeps who do not follow the religion. जब किसी मंदिर के ऊपर या किसी मस्जिद के ऊपर लाउड स्पीकर लगाया जाता है तो ये एक स्टेटमेंट बोली जा रही है कि मैं देखो तुम सबको बता रहा हूँ यहाँ पे मेरा रिलीजन का चलता है.
सभी धार्मिक स्थलों पर, चाहे वो चर्चेज हों, चाहे वो मॉस्क्स हों, मस्जिद हों, चाहे वो मंदिर हों, चाहे वो गुरुद्वारे हों, वहाँ पर एक लिमिट होनी चाहिए लाउड स्पीकर की वॉल्यूम की, ताकि लोग आसपास की जो लोकेलिटी में है वो डिस्टर्ब ना हो.
I think that there is a very clear directive by the Supreme Court in terms of sound pollution, and I think it applies for everyone, and everyone should obey that.
जो है तुम अगर उनको तकलीफ हो रही है मॉर्निंग में आज़ान हो रहा है तो अपना घर शिफ्ट कर दो, मस्जिद के बाजू में मत रहो, सीधा बात है.
क्योंकि वो आवाज़ आता है तो पब्लिक भी वो हो जाता है, डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है, और वो मंदिर के लिए बोलता है मस्जिद के लिए वो अलग बात हो गया, लेकिन जो आवाज़ आता है सुबह में सबको हैरान होता है वो गलत बंद करना मांगता है.
यू आर डूइंग ऑन डेली बेसिस तो बैन होना ही चाहिए. सोनू निगम ने कुछ इसमें गलत बात नहीं बोला. इट इज़ नॉट अबाउट रिलीजन, नॉट रिलेटेड टू एनी रिलीजन, बट इट इज़ अ कंप्लीट न्यूसेंस. इट हैज़ टू बी स्टॉप्ड.
Well, it's an important issue and we're going to discuss it, and we're stepping away from the controversy. This evening we're not looking at whether we're talking about a specific religion or communalism. We're talking about loudspeakers. We're talking about your experience perhaps of an unpleasant loudspeaker on a particular event near your home. When you called the police, did you get a fair hearing from the police? Did the police help you, or did they tell you to adjust for 1 or 2 nights because it's a festival, because it's a special event? Should you have to put up with it? Should your children have to put up with it? Now, I want you to realize as viewers that there are very clear guidelines on decibel levels of loudspeakers in our country. There is a very clear ruling that says loudspeakers should be shut down after 10 p.m. in the evening and before 6 a.m. in the morning. There's a very clear rule that says that it should not be more than 55 decibels during the day and 45 decibels at night. Who's following these rules? Who's implementing these rules? Who's enforcing these rules? And if we are not able to implement or enforce these rules, then is it better for all of us, health-wise and simply for peace of mind, to just remove loudspeakers from residential neighborhoods? Only allow them in specific areas, only allow them in events that have special permission. Is that something that we can work out? And I want you to pick up the phone today and tell us and share your story with us if you faced a problem with any event with a loudspeaker that you could not get the law to act upon because the police did not help you, which means that we are not able to currently enforce the rules that are currently present to protect us. Who will protect us then? That's the question we're asking this evening. Should loudspeakers, all loudspeakers for all events and all buildings be banned completely from residential neighborhoods? They shouldn't be allowed near our children. They shouldn't be allowed near our senior citizens. And if you've been working all day, you have the right to a peaceful night's sleep. Is that something we can guarantee? Joining me in the studio and on the show this evening, Akashdeep Sabir is a director, Naveen Chomal is an advocate, Ejaz Naqvi, advocate to the Supreme Court, Harish Desai, senior partner of Lowfundwala Productions. Sumaira Abdulali is the founder of an NGO called Awaaz Foundation that works very strongly with reducing noise pollution. Sujay Kantawala, senior advocate in Mumbai, and Shamsherkhan Pathan is the former ACP, joining us in Mumbai as well. Opening statements from all of our panelists. Akashdeep Sabir, do you believe that loudspeakers should be removed from all residential neighborhoods?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And it has got nothing to do with any religion. I just feel that I'm a bit surprised if the Supreme Court has had such a ruling. Why is there no clarity whether that ruling applies to mosques, where the azan has become an issue now as raised of late? If the ruling does apply there, then why was it not enforced in the 70 years since we've got independence? And if it does not apply, then we have to look at it from a very different point of view. But as a principle, loudspeakers, public propaganda, be it elections, be it festivals, be it religion, where you are intruding upon somebody's privacy to sleep, have to maintain silence, to live peacefully, it has to be enforced and a ban must be implemented. Events, specific locations, specific reasons, occasions, I can understand with permission. Otherwise, complete ban, I support.
Well, let me bring in Naveen Chomal as well. Naveen Chomal, and we were talking about a complete ban. We're talking about a complete ban on everything, on churches, on temples, on gurdwaras, on mosques, on events that are held in public spaces, on streets, on processions, on visarjans. Are you also on board with that? Should we ban loudspeakers and loud noises?
I am not for absolute ban. Of course, they should be totally banned throughout the year. But for different religions, if they have some functions, say once or a few days in a year, they can take special permission. And the limit should be within the permissible limit as per the law. For example, they are in the residential area.
Who will measure the permissible limit?
Beg your pardon? I beg your pardon,
Who will
madam?
measure the permissible limit? If there is a specific day when there is dancing happening on the road, who is going to measure the permissible limit?
Why? The police authorities can measure it.
Police come there and tell them to bring down the noise.
It is not impossible. Police authorities can measure when the law is specifying that in residential areas in daytime it should be not more than 55 decibels. So they can be measured. And if anybody is violating, strict action should be taken irrespective of the religion, whether it be Hindus or Christians or anybody.
How can you measure it?
But so we should.
How can you measure it, sir?
Why? There are units, there are machines to measure it.
How can you measure it?
Beg your pardon? It is not impossible to measure it.
Also, if there are 5,000 and 20,000 pandals, you want 20,000 machines and 40,000 policemen monitoring that. You think your solution is practical?
I think the solution is practical. Otherwise, it has been impossible to ban it totally. That's what I am saying. That it should not be allowed for around the year to all the religious places. But in specific,
so
supposing there is a function in Gurdwara once or twice a year, why should it not be permitted within its permissible limits?
One at a time. I want to bring in. All right. So Naveen Chomal, you're making a loophole here, and I want to bring in Ejaz Naqvi. Naveen Chomal is opening up a loophole where he says that through the year ban it, but if I have a special event or a special festival, I should be allowed 3 or 4 days. I believe a ban is a ban.
Yes, it's a ban.
If you have a special festival,
the religion without loudspeaker,
go outside the residential neighborhood.
Religion is without loudspeaker. Nowhere in the Manusmriti or any Smriti, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Quran, any books, nowhere it is mentioned loudspeaker. That's why loudspeaker, religion without loudspeaker has to be practiced. And it is need of the hour, number one. And other thing is voluntarily disbanding such kind of instruments are social accountability, are police machinery accountability. This is not viable at all. It has to be disbanded by the religion itself, its follower itself. If they are not doing this, so the machinery has to come and they had to ban it once for all. Number one. And what about the mechanics, decibel level and all these things? It is not practicable because in the villages, like Navratri and other like Kavars, when they move on the roads, so many decibel level is that that is DJ and all that. These all instrument has to be banned. There is no practicability in measuring their voice, decibelity and all these things. That's why these are the pollution and it should be banned.
See, I have got an argument to it. See, today's world, we have this technology of loudspeaker and it is being used
one second. Let's get all of the views in.
So if other private events are allowed, why not religious events?
I'm saying don't even allow the private events, Naveen Chomal. Don't allow the private events. Don't allow the private events.
Supposing on some say MMRDA ground.
Don't allow the private. Let me bring in Sujay Kantawala. No. I don't want to differentiate between a private event, a wedding, a barat, a visarjan.
Let me say something. You mean to say on MMRDA ground, say there is a private event, say some foreign pitbull comes. That time you will allow the pitbull to have a shop with loudspeakers. How can pitbull have a show without loudspeaker.
MMRDA grounds is within
Shakira to have loudspeakers.
No,
But for every
MMRDA
release
grounds
function in India, you said it's a blanket ban.
specific
Come on,
location.
you talk something sensible and something practical.
It's not about religion. Naveen Chomal, don't make it religious. Sujay Kantawala.
Let me say this.
Sujay Kantawala.
Let me say this.
I
think we are all one.
Can be implemented or not?
I think
it is very easy to say something very hypothetical and fantastic that let us do everything like that. But we have to understand whether it is practical to ban it completely or not.
I think we are all one on the issue that noise pollution is a silent killer. Sleep is a fundamental right which is recognized by our apex court. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion, everything okay. But what is the solution? You cannot have a complete blanket ban. I'll tell you why. Because loudspeakers are not the only reason. What about firecrackers?
Yes.
What about politicians who give their election speeches? What about then all these processions which come out? And again, as my friend Mr. Chomal said, put pitbull. Now, for example, that was a very good example because now we have a lot of these events. You have these events in Goa, music festivals, etc. So what we need is, and this is a very good debate that has started, Faye. I think we have taken a very positive cue from this. We are not getting into specifics and semantics about the fatwa, etc. and all that, because according to me, it was not a fatwa. It was just a personal opinion of somebody. Fatwa is a great legal opinion of a great legal mind, as we understand. We should not belittle it.
No,
so let's concentrate.
How do we solve the problem of loudspeakers?
Yes, we should have designated areas where you will have certain amount of decibels which should be allowed. Otherwise, you don't have a loudspeaker.
Yes.
I think we should, as a society, realize that noise pollution is a killer, and then there should be some self-discipline. Where are we going? If you go to places like Varanasi, Allahabad, Meerut, I actually feel sorry for the people living there in all these towns, where every nook and corner people have their loudspeakers, and there is a competition. Whose loudspeaker is more louder?
Yes, yes.
I mean, so therefore, self-discipline with regulation and practical regulation is the need for the hour. And I'm sure all my friends on the debate would agree that noise pollution has to come down in this country in all forms. May it be firecrackers, may it be honking, may it be loudspeakers, what you say. The decibel level hits you all the time. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. So the decibel levels need to come down in our residential neighborhoods. You can make special zones. For example, the MMRDA ground, for those of our viewers who are not Mumbai based, the MMRDA ground is located within Bandra Kurla complex, which is an office neighborhood, which means that after 6 p.m., 7 p.m. at night, everybody's gone home. It's empty. So if you have an event, you're not really bothering any of the residents.
And Faye, I'll tell you one more
special
thing.
zones where loudspeakers are allowed.
Faye, I'll tell you one more thing.
But don't do it in our neighborhoods. And I don't care what your event is. Just don't
outside
allow
our
it.
Esplanade Court, every day there are some of the other protests, every day there are some of the other processions, and it disturbs everybody. There is no check. That check is important. Coupled with self-discipline, and the police have a big role to play over here.
This is the reason, Sujay, why we have Shamsherkhan Pathan on the panel. Mr. Pathan, when you were in the police force, how easy or difficult was it for you to enforce the decibel level rules? Because I'll tell you by experience, a lot of times when we call up the local police station, they turn around and say it's a special event, it's a festival. Madam, adjust कीजिए ना एक दो दिन, ये तो चलता ही रहता है, एक ही दिन की बात है. How often do the police force have the ability to go out and enforce a decibel level regulation?
I will take a very practical approach on this topic. You are talking about the 55 decibel for during daytime.
Yes.
We had handled the machine, decibel machine, we have handled it. Now whatever I am talking to you and you are talking to me, it is crossing about 70. Whatever we are talking now, we are crossing that 55 limit. So it's very difficult to maintain that 55 decibel at any cost. Our private conversation exceeds more than that. Secondly, as regards the religious things are concerned, this is not a new thing. It is coming up and we are just protesting and we are doing. Yeah, health problem is outright. But this practice is going on since long. Since long it is going on. And it's very difficult to practically close all this thing. It's very difficult. There will be big chaos. It's good to sit in a studio and make a statement and make an argument.
That's what I'm saying.
1 minute, let me complete, please. It's my opinion. You may differ.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
But it is very difficult. It is difficult to control it. We as a policeman, we face a lot of things. As you remember, the Dahi Handi pyramid. Supreme Court has given a specific direction. It should not have a 8 meters, something like that. But during this Dahi Handi, it has gone to their own level, whatever they did earlier.
No.
What the CM said, just register office, don't do anything.
No one has violated, Mr. Shamsherkhan Pathan, number one.
Please.
You are police officer.
Please let me talk. Please let me talk. You answer me.
After a certain time, you had retired. And certainly there are certain customs like loudspeaker has to retire.
If it is wrong, then cross me. Listen one thing.
So actually, let's try and understand. Let's try and understand. I want to understand why is it difficult to enforce?
You have simply said the Supreme Court order has been violated by certain pandals and certain Govindas. It is wrong.
What is right then?
It is Supreme Court order has been implemented by the state government and most of the people have followed it. No one has violated. You have
I just want to put this into perspective. One second, gentlemen, don't get derailed from the problem that we're talking about. 1 minute.
Registered offices.
Gentlemen,
the offices were registered. They did whatever they want to do it.
No children.
I am not. See, listen one thing. I am not against that. I am saying you how the police implement the order and how the government enforce it. I am telling you like that.
For future.
I am not against
the pyramid.
Focus on the problem at hand. Do not get emotional. Do not get emotional. Do not bring in religion. Do not.
I am not bringing religion at all. I am not bringing. Only I say I respect the ND. But he is saying that's what I'm telling you.
Let's just focus on the problem. One second.
It's very difficult, madam. It's very difficult.
Sumaira Abdulali has been measuring sound pollution in all of our cities for a very long time. Sumaira, Mr. Pathan brought in a very interesting point. He said the 55 decibel limit is impossible to maintain. On an average, when we talk about a pandal for a certain festival, or if we talk about any sort of street corner celebration that happens, what decibel levels is that pandal going to cross, and how bad is it for us, Sumaira?
Well, that's a very interesting question because, I mean, I'd just like to take you a little bit into the background of the noise rules themselves. The WHO came up with a report in 1985 on which our noise rules are based, and they are based on an act of parliament where the decibel levels were taken as the levels which are suitable for maintaining the health of people. And then the noise rules were framed in 2000, and thereafter our whole political system, after themselves passing the decibel levels, have found ways and means to avoid complying with them. So when I started working on noise pollution in around 2002, the first thing that I found was that there was no official data of any kind at all. There were no decibel meters. I was lucky to get my hands on a handheld decibel meter which was donated to me, and I started coming up or measuring noise myself by going to many of these places. I started with festivals because those are the highest levels of noise. The festival noise, particularly during Ganpati, Eid and other street festivals, have crossed 127 decibels at the highest. Last year there were 123 decibels at Ganpati and 117 at Eid. So that's pretty high when the decibel level prescribed by WHO should not exceed 55. Because we expose our infants even to these kind of high decibel levels, India is a country of deaf people, and this is again borne out by a WHO report of 2012, where they have shown that the Indian subcontinent has the highest percentage of hearing loss in the world, starting with children who have over 2.5% hearing loss, whereas in Western countries, the figure is 0.05%. 65% of our adults, of our senior citizens, have disabling hearing loss. So we are talking of a health epidemic. And we also have laws, as I said, it starts with a law passed by Parliament. It went on to be recognized by the Supreme Court, which stated very clearly in 2005 that religion is not a ground for breaking the noise pollution rules. And this was after a representation which was made by members of several different communities. But very unfortunately for us, although in 2005, every community stuck to the noise rules. The Ganpati stopped at 10 o'clock, the early morning Aazan stopped, and everybody stopped in respect, in deference of the Supreme Court order. Very unfortunately for us, the government of Maharashtra and the government of Gujarat jointly went to the Supreme Court in review saying we have the right to make exceptions to our own rules. And the Supreme Court said, yes, you do, provided you don't try to make any further exceptions to this rule. You do have the right to extend the time limit from 10 p.m. to 12 p.m., 12 a.m. for certain 15 days of the year. Based on that relaxation, not only did the decibel levels go haywire, but every community started to point fingers at the other one as being the first who's supposed to keep in tune with the noise rules. I have to say that the one community...
Right. So this is, Sumaira, I'm glad you brought that up, because this brings me back to my fundamental point. If we look for exceptions, which is the problem that we're having, if we look for exceptions and we say, okay, if it's a special event, if it is a festival, if it's something that people are very sentimental about, if we don't want to offend people, then we will open up a can of worms that we will find impossible to close. A blanket ban in all residential neighborhoods is the only way to go about it, because we are such a sensitive country and we're such a sensitive people, and all of us are sensitive about something or the other. And if we start making room for our, for our emotions, we're never going to get any work done.
Well taken, Faye. But as rightly said by Mr. Shamsherkhan Pathan, it is very easy to say in the studio that there should be blanket ban. But to implement in the real practical life, it is not possible. So best is let the law be there and law be followed meticulously.
Therefore, Faye, this time...
Why have you decided it's not possible?
The midnight mass which was held recently, few days back on the Good Friday festival.
In the Delhi.
The midnight mass was held
in the Delhi
without any loudspeaker.
All the crackers
Let's take that as an example. Let's take that as a positive example that midnight mass was held without a loudspeaker, because religion is such a beautiful thing, such a peaceful thing. It's your devotion to your God. And that should be shared in a most silent and reverent manner. You don't need loud, blaring loudspeakers for that. And this is a very good example.
Sujay, in the Delhi NCR region, all the crackers has been banned. Selling, supply and usage also. Banned or not? You are agreeing?
Yes.
The guns like AK-47 are banned in the notified regions. In the UP, these butcher houses are banned. In the Bihar, there is liquor shops are banned. Then what's simply it's an instrument. Ban it.
That's true.
Put
in Maharashtra
a
also
penalty
there's a ban on the crackers in Maharashtra. There's a ban on crackers. But the cracker shops are being escorted by the police.
Shamsherkhan Pathan, all of the bans that we're talking about, including
crackers are banned, but the shops are given full protection.
During Govinda, was not enforced because we did not have the police force that could enforce it.
Let it be a ban. Then
one second, gentlemen.
If you go to theatre for a movie, see what is the decibel. It may be 500 or 600.
Why you wanted to loud? Why you wanted to shout? Just ban it, everything. Why?
Differently.
It's a 22nd century is going on.
Theatre should be stopped. All theatre should be
50 years old instrument, which is
the theatres are having such a big noise. It gives palpitation to your heart.
Exactly.
You should stop all theatres.
You should not go there.
These
are the places you should not go there.
One second. You're getting derailed again. The theatre example doesn't work because someone who goes into a theatre pays money and chooses to be in that theatre. When there is a loudspeaker outside of my home, I am not choosing that loudspeaker. It is not my choice to have that noise come into my home. It is not my choice to have that noise wake up my children or keep my senior citizens awake at night.
Same thing, madam. Now
this is fundamentally what we're talking about.
Correct. But now that this debate came today. Before that, nobody has come out for debate for the sound. Nobody came because we are immune to the sound now. Because the locality we are staying there, we are immune to it.
So what?
Why we are not shouted earlier?
No, nobody is immune.
Let the government take the cause. Let them take the call and let them give the directions. And let the authority implement it.
What kind of an argument is this?
Just a second, we have orders on this. What does it mean to say that there is? What does it mean to say that there are no orders?
I want to bring in Mr. Pathan.
What is the use of that law?
One second. Calm down. If we yell at each other, we're just creating more noise pollution and our audience cannot understand what we're saying. I think in the spirit of the discussion that we're having, the least we can do is not shout. Let's all calm down and listen to each other. That is the point of the debate. Mr. Pathan, yes, everybody will get a chance to speak.
Yes.
Mr. Pathan,
Yeah.
I want to give you an example. There was a large street festival taking place in Mumbai not long ago when one of my colleagues called me and said, whom should I call because the noise is so loud, it is causing distress to my father who is a heart patient. I said, you can call the local police, but I'm not sure if the local police will be able to help you because of the sentiment involved in that street festival. How often, Mr. Pathan, has the local police been able to help?
Local police, madam, if you get complaint, we send the van over there and we try to stop it. Sometimes the organizer, they come, start fighting with us. Why it is so? It is once in a year. Why are you doing? It's a complaint is there. No complaint karta nahi. You only are coming out like that.
No
so many times there is a tussle between the police and the organizer. But sometimes they listen to us and then when we threaten of the lodging complaint, then they slow it down. But maximum people, they don't obey it, and if somebody goes over there, there is a tussle. So that is a thing, because the sentiment is involved over there, religious sentiment. They say it is our religious sentiment. So it's difficult to control them. No doubt, we are trying to just stop all this
Akashdeep, I can see your hand come up. Akashdeep, the truth is that if we give every religion and every sentiment and every emotion once a year, that's almost every other week in this country because we have so many different sentiments.
Yes.
Absolutely. In fact, one of the panelists was just saying that when we go there, then they say there are emotions and there are sentiments involved. I don't think the cops have to get into sentiment. When will we, the people, get a chance to live peacefully?
No,
when do we tell the world that we matter?
The job of cops is very tough.
There is a procession.
Mr. Pathan,
the road is dug up.
It's a thankless job.
It's very easy to talk.
Am I right, Mr. Pathan?
Yeah. It's very tough.
Mr. Pathan knows this job.
Yeah, there may be a big riot out of that.
Can I make my point, you will say different time at different time in different sect.
Can I finish my point, please?
In India, there are about 100 sects, and everybody will play their azan or something.
Do we have a
don't talk about azan, please?
Timings are different. Mr. Shamsher himself knows that. That Shia azan different timing, that azan different timing, Sunni azan different timing, Wahhabi azan different timing. There are too many timings. Multiple timings of azan. Out of 5, there are 25 times of azan.
So then what about the Ganesh Puja? What about the Visarjans? What about the Christmas markets? What about the pandals are there? We can go on and on. Everybody has a loudspeaker. Then there is a barat coming in. Then there is a wedding coming in. Then there's something or the other happening in our street corners every week. There are politicians making speeches.
In case of barats, they are supposed to deposit money beforehand to the police station, and if there is any violation of the sound level, police are supposed to confiscate the money.
What has money got to do with it?
In mosque also.
It's a matter of penalty. It is a penalty, ultimately penalty imposed upon the people.
Played your
so
sound
following that
before putting the loudspeaker on religious places, also there is a mandatory certificate ordered by Supreme Court. Ordered by Bombay High Court recently. You was the advocate, Mr. Chomal.
That is true. That is true. But now
you have to pay the entertainment charges also.
Today we are not discussing it just for the academic sake, but we are discussing for the practical sake, and we have the fortune of having Mr. Pathan with on the panel. He is a very experienced senior officer and he knows what difficulties the police face and how to handle the situation. So I think what Mr. Pathan is saying is right. We have to have a balance of it. So what? He was one of the most competent officers.
Naveen Chomal, retired officer.
Naveen Chomal. We are enriched by his particular experience and what he is saying. I agree with what Mr. Pathan is saying.
I know that.
Okay. One second. To the lawyers on the panel, please do not reduce me to a school teacher on this debate every night where I have to constantly tell you to listen to each other and only speak when the other person has finished their sentence. Let's actually hear each other out. If the intention is really to find a solution,
nobody is allowing us to finish our point.
If we hear each other out. Yes, please finish your points. I will repeat it over and over again. This is not that kind of channel and this is not that kind of show. We're not creating a spectacle where people yell at each other and we think that it's very amusing. We're actually trying to solve problems that are bothering citizens, and we can only do that if we listen to each other. And I would take it one step further and argue that there's so much noise pollution in our country that it has desensitized our ears and we can't even hear each other talk anymore. Naveen Chomal, why do we need to make exceptions?
That
for pandals being put at the corner of the street.
Here we are not...
why can't those pandals be done in silence without a loudspeaker?
See, here we are not having an elocution competition like 6 standard students where each one gives some very fantastic picture that this should be done, that should be done, something very fantastic.
Give me
here we are
answer.
responsibly, lakhs of people are watching us. So we should come out with the views which are actually practicable and which can be implemented for the betterment of the society.
So you are saying it's practical to ban the daily prayer calls, but it's not practical to ban a loudspeaker playing item numbers in a festival pandal across the street.
We had banned butcher khana, we had banned wine shop, we had banned crackers, we had banned arbitrariness in the work properties, the work board, which are the legal authority of all these mosques and idgahs. They were not charging the money as per rules, regulation. The government of India in 2014 has framed the rules. Auction the shop and charge all the shops of the mosque and masjid and everywhere market rate. Somebody is following, somebody is not following, but we are taking action. We are taking action against them. And the government will also, in such a way, they will ban simply.
No, but if there is a complete ban on loudspeakers, somebody will not happen.
See, if we completely ban the religious places, it's okay, fine.
There should be a complete ban.
Will there be complete ban on the loudspeaker in the country?
Yes.
How can we outdo with this technology?
Yes.
It is not possible. Ultimately, see, we have to think the practical aspect of it. Loudspeakers are going to be used by some people, then it will create
Why do you say it's not possible, Mr. Chomal? Are you qualified enough to make that statement?
No. Supposing there is some event of some politician.
So Naveen Chomal, if you're saying it's not practical, then tell me what is practical.
How are you saying it's not possible?
Naveen Chomal, tell me what is practical. Gentlemen, just 1 second. I'll give you all a chance to answer this question. Tell me what the practical solution is, Naveen Chomal.
Yes. See, my practical solution is, with due respect to the view taken by your channel, there should be a total ban on the mosques and masjids and gurdwaras and churches everywhere on the loudspeaker. But yes, considering the religious sentiments of all the people, if on certain 1 or 2 days for every religion, if they want to play some music or say organize some event, the loudspeaker should be allowed, but within the particular decibel limits. That is what I'm suggesting.
What are these days, Naveen Chomal, that you're referring to?
For example, for Hindus, there can be say 2 days in a Ganpati festival, 2 days in Navratri, so maximum 4 days. For Muslims also 2 days of Eid is perfectly fine. For Christians also some special days there they can do it, or Gurdwara once in a year. So as per their religious functions they can do it once or twice a year.
So you just counted on your hands 10 or 12 different days.
Total year. 15
and you haven't even gone through all religions.
Ms. D'Souza,
what about Navratri that goes on for 9 days?
That's what I said. 2 days Navratri maximum. It is not that all 10 days they should be allowed.
Eid is as per moon, and certain sects celebrate Eid 3 days before, certain 3 days afterwards, certain sects 7 days afterwards. These are the things when you will give the permission for all these things. That's why banning it once for all.
That is not possible practically.
There is so many things. When wines can be banned and all these things.
There may be 15 days in a year.
Sujay Kantawala, I have a very simple question for Sujay. Sujay, our constitution gives us the right to live our lives any way we want to and follow any religion we want to, provided we are not either breaking the law or we are not infringing on the neighbor or the rest of society's ability to have their rights and follow their religions. Morality. So this is fundamentally my point. We can do whatever we want, but why does it have to reach another person's house? Why can't we do it without using a loudspeaker?
You're right,
whatever the occasion may be.
Faye, you're right that the Constitution specifically mandates and allows that you can practice your religion subject to public order, morality and the law. Everyone is free to do that. You also have your fundamental right to sleep. You also have your fundamental right to live a healthy life. with these kind of figures that we are seeing, and with Sumaira saying that we are turning into a complete deaf nation, this should be sending alarm bells down our spines just now. That what are we heading to? And what are we discussing? This religion, that religion, why are we getting into religion? We need to see what we as a society and as a country and all of citizens are looking forward to. Therefore, the law should be equally implemented across India. According to me, you should have a flat law across India. We should ban all such instruments which are going to cause health problem. We should ban firecrackers. We should ban all other such things. So it's just, see, loudspeakers is just one aspect of noise pollution. We have other also things that cause noise pollution. So therefore, there should be a law. But the problem is, because a wrong has been being committed over so many years, now people have sort of accepted that it's the right thing. And therefore, what we need is a systemic change. You may have all the laws written, you may have all the judgments, but if they are not going to be implemented, and if they are not practically to be implemented in our set of circumstances, we are a very peculiar country in that sense. We have so many religions, we have so many states, we have so many linguistic issues. So therefore, we have to have a practical law, and there should be the self-realization that what is happening is bad.
Desai?
Yep. To make my opening statement now, I would like to say that I love Pitbull's rap music and I love the melody of Azan. But at any decibel level beyond 60, it's no longer beautiful, it's no longer melodious, it's just plain noise and nuisance. It's very shallow to look at this issue at a religious level, because I feel this is strongly a social and a health issue. If you're looking at right to life, which is imbibed in the Constitution under Article 21, this is a right which has to be given and guaranteed to every citizen of India 365 days of the year. You cannot say for 15 days, let's forget your right to life and let's be jolly good to your brothers and let's bear the noise of each other. I feel in the 21st century, there is no use, or there is no, I don't feel the need of having loudspeakers. I don't feel that there's a reason why we should use loudspeaker for anything. I feel in the 21st century, all of us can live and practice our own beliefs and practice our own religion without the use of loudspeakers. So there has to be a blanket ban on loudspeakers.
Yes, he is also supporting.
Absolutely, yeah. I agree with you. Gaurav is on the phone line from Mumbai. 1 second, gentlemen, 1 second. Gaurav is on the phone line from Mumbai. He's a viewer. Gaurav, go ahead. What would you like to say? Gaurav.
See, hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Gaurav. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just like to say that the rule of law only is valid for a common man. If I play a loud music and I don't have any political sanction behind me or any religious group standing behind me, I think there are going to be beat marshals coming to my house within flat 10 minutes. And I stay opposite Karan Johar's house. I stay opposite a group of people who celebrate, maybe Ambedkar Jayanti or Ganesh Puja or other things. And whenever I have to complain, I don't see any response from their side. They tell me that, okay, there is a permission going on, Sir ki party hai. They tell me that, okay, it's Ambedkar Jayanti. They tell me, okay, the restaurant owners are throwing a party and there are a lot of big people coming in. So not only do I have to listen to the trance music, I have to also compromise my parking and my right of way to come home. So I think the rule of law only is applicable for me, and it's commendable that someone has stood up and he believes in the rule of law and voiced his opinion. Hats off to Sonu Nigam in that case. And I'm happy that people are discussing that right now. There's some gentleman on your show is saying that we're immune to it because we haven't been discussing it. So kudos that somebody is now discussing it. And since we are discussing it, hopefully we can solve it and take a stand behind it.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Gaurav. And I think one of the most important things, and I'm going to go to the lady on the panel here who has a very mellow voice, Sumaira, one of the most important things is the fact that the common man's opinion doesn't get heard. The regular person who comes home from work, I come home from work, I put my feet up, I'm expecting to be able to read a book, to have dinner, to have a conversation with my spouse. But I can't, because the music that is blaring in the next, street corner, or the music that's blaring even in my housing society, because they're celebrating something that I may or may not want to be part of, it impedes my ability to go on with my life. And Gaurav is very right. It is only the voices of the powerful that get heard in our country.
In fact, Faye, that's exactly what I was saying. That it is only when the state government of Maharashtra and Gujarat intervened in the Supreme Court that the voluntary acquiescence of every different community and sect to reduce their loudspeakers went haywire. And I always believed that it would be the hardest to control a festival like Diwali, which saw individual use of noise-making things, firecrackers, rather than control something which was an organized festival, like, for example, Ganpati. So Ganpati, I thought, would come under control first. But my experience over the last 15 years that I've been working on noise has been the exact reverse. And that's my answer to Gaurav. He's absolutely right, that it's not that we can't implement the law, it's that we have a deliberate kind of a very strong counterforce which has a lot of vested interest in not implementing the law. Yes. And it is also true that every community uses that counterforce to allow his own community, his own self, his own interest to continue. One example is that a festival like Dahi Handi, which never used loudspeakers, it was a home festival which people celebrated without loudspeakers. It was fun. We used to all go and enjoy it, look at it. But the minute it became organized and politicized, the loudspeaker use became rampant. And it's easy to say that we can't control it. In fact, you are not controlling it because there's a strong political will not to control it, and not the other way around. Mumbai is the only city in the country where last year decibel levels fell during festival seasons. That's because of the High Court order, because the High Court took very strong steps towards implementation, including asking people like me to file contempt notices. My contempt notice, which is coming up for hearing on Friday, day after tomorrow, is against the police violating the law themselves within the police station premises and telling me when I filed a complaint that this was a traditional festival and it would be allowed to continue. That police station is in a silent zone. Silent zones have been clearly defined by the High Court, and every religious place is a silent zone. I don't think there's anything further to be said, because that just shows the level at which yes, the rule is for you and me at 10 o'clock. If I have a private function, the police will be there in 10 minutes. But if any important person has a private function, I know people who have made over 100 complaints and been completely blocked. Their complaints have been blocked. Some of those people have filed contempt petitions as well. They're all being heard on Friday. And I urge other people who find that this happens to file these complaints. The action can be taken.
Let me just bring in. I want to bring in Akashdeep on this. Akashdeep, while Gaurav said very clearly, we are glad Sonu Nigam brought up something that has sparked debate. We're all sitting around talking about it today because he brought it up. But why don't we use, and this is the third time we're having this conversation, Akashdeep, why don't we use the power of Bollywood to question everything? To question the noise on everything, to question the noise in the street corners, to question the noise in the pandals, to question the noise in the Visarjans, to question the noise in the religious spaces, near our hospitals, near our schools. Bollywood can do this. It's not just about the Azan, it's about all of the noise that we're talking about that Sonu Nigam is bringing up. Why don't we use the power of Bollywood to do more?
Yeah, but if you read his tweet, he has not mentioned only the Azan. He said if loudspeakers are used in gurdwaras, in churches...
Don't get me wrong, he's actually come out today in the bite that we played out and said he's talking about all noise. I'm asking for the rest of Bollywood to also come out very clearly against noise.
Yes, really.
They have to come. If there is a movement like that, you will see Bollywood coming forward. But once again, we come to the debate where everything is not an onus for Bollywood. There is a gentleman from Bollywood, Mr. Sonu Nigam, who's at least raised this awareness. And today we are here in a debate, having a nice practical debate and made to realize that we are being labeled as a deaf country, that this is a problem, this is a disease. Thanks to Mr. Sonu Nigam that this awareness has been brought about. Why should we have a public display of anything, ma'am? It's time we stop this in the 22nd century.
No,
Everything has a political backing.
We are
Every
discussing how we
festival
should stop
which
it,
is now
how it should be
celebrated in the public
implemented.
domain has the local MLA or the local MP's label. Mr. Chomal, can you ever allow me to speak? You have to come in every time.
I'm just assisting
Your
you.
noise level is
we are
so
aware of the
disturbing
problem.
itself.
Let us not discuss the problem. Let us try to find some solution to it.
Can I finish?
Yes.
Do not assess till I finish.
Let him finish. Naveen Chomal, let him finish making his point.
Can I finish? I will also bring in the point that you made. Mr. Chomal, you also said that religious sentiments have to be kept in mind. So 15 days, 20 days, 30 days have to be kept. Why has that to happen? The minute you allow that to happen, you are not letting the ban happen completely, and then everybody will find a way out. That's not what we the citizens deserve. Why should there be a public celebration of a festival?
See, it's
you have your one-on-one on yourself. You want to pray, connect to God in your own house and do it. Once you're out of the country, it's one country, one India, no display of any festivity out on the streets.
See, it is not possible in a country like us. That's what I'm trying to say.
Why should we have this display?
And Mr. Pathan will also agree with me.
Every festival is a hand of the local MLA.
Acting very strictly.
Mr. Naveen Chomal, you just called for a ban on the Azan.
The law will be
Are there no sentiments involved there?
Want a way out of everything, Mr. Chomal.
Miss D'Souza.
You are missing the point. See, what
I disagree with your statement that we have to find a way out.
Nuisance is very much admitted to be a nuisance. But how to stop that nuisance, there is one way
Why do you want a way out of everything?
The law should be followed very strictly.
Okay, calm down. I'm going to have to do it again.
Why do you
Akashdeep and Naveen Chomal, please calm down.
Akashdeep's argument is not
Akashdeep
only
and Naveen
supported
Chomal,
by
please calm
fundamental
down.
rights, but also directive principles also. Directive principles allows Government of India as well as the state governments to formulate certain rules law, which should be for the benefit of the health of the common people. Very clear statements are there. And now the moment has come when the governments are thinking about...
So where are those laws?
Yes, government as well as the people are thinking their health, their common health. And that's why butcher khanas has been banned and crackers has been banned by the government as well as
people are thinking, not the government.
Court as well, by the court
people like Sonu Nigam are thinking, not the government.
No. In the crackers, wines and all this, government and people as well as the courts are everywhere. There are the same voice that such things which are contrary to fundamental rights as well as the directive principle that has to go from the society, and things are going on. That's why butcher khanas has been banned. Nobody has filed. No order has been passed by the certain high courts. High courts has been approached, but they are not filed and they are not passed any kind of orders. That's why in loudspeaker also, it is violating directive principles of the state policies. So many laws are there. It is being violated by the loudspeakers.
Let's find a way out.
Yes. Now the government will think. When you had raised the question, naturally the government will think also. We are discussing the same resolution.
Ultimately, it boils down to the society, and we cannot detach ourselves from the society.
In fact, let me ask Shamsherkhan Pathan. Mr. Pathan, tell me this.
Common man's thinking. Let us understand common man's thinking. Let us find a way out of it. Of course, there should be a responsibility.
Mr. Pathan, tell me this. If the ban is not blanket, if the ban allows for loopholes of religious sentiment, how difficult will it be to implement?
Let me tell you, madam. First of all, we are immune to all this noise pollution. One thing. Secondly, you raise a question why the Bollywood is not coming out to support Sonu Nigam, or why they are not coming out with the this all demand that noise pollution should be controlled. It is their bread and butter. If Sonu Nigam will sing the song, then only when we will listen it, he will get the money. If you are having a loudspeaker means it is above 55 decibel 100%. It's my opinion. Let loudspeaker be shut down everywhere without mentioning any religion.
Yes.
Any religion.
Yes.
Just government should come out or let the Supreme Court come out because there is a total ban on loudspeaker without mentioning masjid, mandir, gurdwara. No, if it will come out, then there will be a chaos on the road. If the government got guts.
No, mention everywhere.
Already banned. Diesel vehicles has been banned in Delhi.
Let Supreme Court come out or I request Sumaira madam to go and have a petition to ban loudspeaker itself.
Yes.
Because loudspeaker means above 55 decibel.
Yes.
And why this 15 days? For what? For what? We are this differentiating.
Why do you need people like Sumaira to go and file a petition?
In the early days of the world, there was no loudspeaker. Everybody was praying.
That's a very
Everybody was praying.
Shamsher is not supporting
Sujay Kantawala.
loudspeaker from the country.
No. One second. No. Sujay Kantawala, one second. Gentlemen, calm down. Sujay Kantawala, here's the question. The Supreme Court's orders very clearly say 55 decibels in the day, 45 decibels at night. Everybody on this panel unanimously agree that these rules are being violated by every street corner in our country.
True.
We're all in contempt of the Supreme Court.
Yes. So therefore, let us take...
What needs to be done now?
What needs to be done is that a fresh petition has to be filed in the Supreme Court, and everyone from all political parties have to join and make a combined effort and convince the Supreme Court to pass an order that there should be ban on loudspeakers throughout India. There should be ban on firecrackers throughout India. All these things that cause noise, air, water pollution need to be banned, because otherwise you're again violating your own fundamental right to live a healthy life.
So we know that logic, but why will the leaders do it?
The leader will not come out.
Why are you relying on the leaders?
They will not come out. Why don't rely on politicians? They will not go to sign a petition.
Akashdeep, don't you think the common man has power to do? The common man, the public has got the power. Don't rely on politicians. The common man has the power. The power of the people is far beyond the politicians. They exist because of us. So therefore, if we combine and get united, we can move mountains.
Sujay, it has been done in Bihar, it has been done in UP.
So between Ejaz Naqvi and Sujay Kantawala and Sumaira Abdulali, can we do this?
Gujarat?
Well, I can tell you that my petition did ask for a total ban on loudspeakers in silent zones, and that order has been accepted and that ban exists. So, in fact, this whole debate really is second-guessing the order of the High Court, because loudspeakers on all religious places are in silent zones and are banned. So what we're talking about is implementation. And as I just said, there seems to be a very strong reason why this is not implemented. It is deliberate. It's not that it can't be done. It's a deliberate violation of the High Court order and the Supreme Court order. And it's up to people like us, ordinary people, led by people like Sonu Nigam, who perhaps will also widen his thing to take on all silent zones and all loudspeakers and show us the way to do it. Certainly through the courts it is done, and through whatever campaigns I have been conducting. As I said, Mumbai is the one city where noise levels fell because the people of Mumbai agree with me.
Right. So here's my question. Sujay Kantawala, Ejaz Naqvi.
Yes.
Can we file a petition in the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Yes.
Removing loudspeakers from all residential
neighborhoods. In fact, that will be the best thing to do, and Ejaz will agree with me, and Naveen also, that will be the best thing to do, because under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court orders are binding throughout India, whether you like it or not. You are supposed to follow it. Supreme Court is final, and their orders are binding. So that will be the best thing to do. In fact, this is the need of the hour, and we all should pool in our resources and take this. And your debate is a very healthy start to this.
It's a
this
resolution.
Awareness in the people is very important. See, apart from things like depression, water pollution, air pollution, noise pollution is also a killer that people have to realize. And what Sumaira said, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, that we are heading towards a deaf nation. This is catastrophe.
We are
not only a deaf nation, but noise also affects mental health.
Can I rely on you for your support as well?
Yes, we are just going to file, and myself is ready to become petitioner for that, and Sujay is my friend also, and we will meet at my home or somewhere else, and we will file this petition, and once for all we will ban this.
No, I'm sure even Naveen is with us on this.
Naveen, I think there is a reservation of
no, absolutely.
Then he also comes.
I am very much on the same page, but I am not the practical things. So I am not like
Naveen will say we need to find a way out and have some exceptions.
Well, Naveen Chomal, when the Supreme Court decided to ban alcohol on all highways, state and national,
all
a lot of people said it was not practical. The Supreme Court was very clear about the fact that it was necessary to save lives. I have to wrap up this conversation. I want to appreciate the fact, I want to appreciate the fact that our panel has come together and agreed that noise pollution in any form, for any reason, whatever your reasons may be, is no good. Consider this. Ask yourselves why hospitals are silent zones. Because those people who are recovering from any sort of illness need to be cocooned in silence. It's important for the well-being of the people in hospital. So then why is it not important for your well-being at home and your family members and the senior citizens at home and the children and the babies?
Yes.
Why do we have to put up with it? Why do we make exceptions? Why is it that I want my one day in the year, and because I want my one day in the year, I will allow everybody one day each, and as a result, we've got 300 days in the year where for some reason or the other, we're making such a racket that none of us can sleep. And the police is helpless because all of the people, like our panel has repeatedly pointed out, behind this racket are powerful in one way or the other. Either they're leading very large religious groups, they're leading large political parties, or they control a lot of money. None of that is worth more than our health and the health of our families. We need to stand up against this. And this is, again, I repeat it on this channel, not about religion, it's not about politics, it's not about you versus me. It's about our collective health as a society. It's about the fact that on some days we enjoy the noise and on some other days we feel that it is unfair. The truth is, when there's noise for one of us, it's unfair for everybody else. It just needs to be weeded out. And the only way to do it is through very, very strong, blanket, unmovable bans. That is our demand here on The Urban Debate. Thanks for watching.